Travel in 2017. It's vacation time. People take vacations because they want to spend time with family and friends. They want to relax and get away from normal everyday life. Many people don't appear to be overly concerned this year about budgeting for travel. Approximately 2/3 of people claim costs have no impact on their travel plans. Most people are driving to destinations this year, but there's still an increase in flights booked this year over last year. According to Travel and Leisure, some of the best places to travel in 2017 are France, Wyoming, England, and Indiana. Their annual list of the best places to travel considers a variety of factors that include what under-the-radar gems are most exciting, what destinations are travel specialists fielding requests for, and which classic vacation spots are starting to re-emerge. And are there any global events and changes in travel restrictions that have made certain destinations easier to get to? I realize that some places on this list may seem too expensive, but with proper planning and budgeting, any destination can be possible. When planning a vacation, the first thing to decide is, what do you really want out of the vacation? What are your goals for the getaway? Then you have to think about how many people are going with you. If you are bringing family or friends with you, it's important that everyone share the same goals for the trip. The key to optimal vacation spending is planning and budgeting. Decide who's paying for what, and talk beforehand about how to handle the bills. Money is notorious for being a sticky situation for families, so figure out who pays for what, and it must be done in advance. Renting a condo can be a cost-saving way to create budget wiggle room. There are a number of rental websites to help you choose the perfect house, condo, or apartment, and these include Vacation Rentals by Owner, HomeAway, and Airbnb. If you can travel out of season, you can save a huge amount of money. For example, going to Colorado in the summer or Florida in the summer. If you can take the heat, plan a beach trip between June and August in Florida. Conversely, it's the opposite for theme parks, which are very family-oriented. Go there during the school year and lines will be shorter and you'll probably pay less for hotels. Planning ahead can turn a good vacation into a great vacation. Things to include in your budget are transportation and getting around, lodging, food, and entertainment. If you're flying to your vacation destination, one of the big advantages is saving time. Also, flying is very convenient. Air travel takes a lot of responsibility away from you. You can read a book or take a nap while you get there. Sometimes you even get to watch a movie. The bad part about flying are airport hassles. The airport itself is not always a fun experience. With security increases, there are longer lines and longer wait times. Between the pat-downs and body scans, it's a pretty uncomfortable situation, and you might have to walk around barefoot. And don't forget, you have to arrive about 2 hours early to make your flight on time. And then we have layovers, which can be annoying, especially if you touch down and have very little time to run to the gate to make your next flight. The cost of flying has a major impact on vacation options. If it's just you traveling alone, then flying might be cheaper than driving when you factor in gas, wear and tear in your car, and stopping for hotels and food. But as you add in vacationers, the cost gets exponentially larger. But again, it depends. If flying is going to take a few hours versus a few days, you're going to save money on food and hotels. But what if you're a family of 5? You could easily spend over $1,000 just on airfare. And you also have no control. When you're flying, you really have no control over your situation. You can't stop wherever or whenever you want. You can't use your phone. You don't even get to decide how much luggage you're going to bring unless you pay for extra bags. In 2016, the average cost of a round-trip domestic fare was $367. Another important thing to remember is that you should book your flight at least 2 months before you go on your trip to get the best deal. See if booking your tickets separately is less expensive than booking them round trip. Sometimes, too, one-way tickets are less expensive than round trip. For many Americans, driving is the #1 option for travel. The pros and cons of driving are, for the most part, just swapping around the pros and cons of flying. One pro is that you're in complete control. Driving gives you full control over your trip. You go at your own speed, you can determine the route, not to mention there's no limit on what you can and cannot bring with you. Driving can save money for families, and if you drive cross-country, you can sample local foods and cultures. One con about driving is time. Takes a long time usually, wear and tear on your car, and if you lease your car, you can rapidly approach your mileage limit. So now you've arrived at your destination. For the sake of this webinar, let's pretend you flew. You have to figure out how you're getting to your hotel and how you're getting around. What are your options? Well, of course it depends where you are. In major cities, it can be practical to walk. But if that isn't an option for you, you're left with either taking cabs or car services, renting a car, or relying on public transportation. Renting a car can definitely be a good option if you have a lot of ground to cover. It gives you the freedom to do anything you want at any time you want. It's really important to research to find the best rate and book your car ahead of time. Do not show up desperate for a car at a rental company. Public transportation can be a great option in many cities. Some cities it's almost mandatory. You can get a transportation pass good for a week and use it to get around everywhere. Most U.S. major cities use Uber and Lyft. Uber and Lyft beat the cost of a cab significantly. Business Insider did a report to determine the rate differences, and it found if, for example, you're in Los Angeles, you're going to pay close to $20 for a 5-mile taxi ride. The same ride with Uber, you'd pay less than $10. There's the same variance in San Diego, $21 for a taxi and $11 with Uber. In Atlanta, you can ride 5 miles in a taxi for about $18 versus only $10 with Uber. This type of difference, it seems pretty much across the board in the United States, except for New York, which is just expensive for everything. Now let's talk about where you're going to stay. You've got your location, your ride, but where are you sleeping? The standard norm is a hotel, of course, but is it really the best option? Let's explore. Airbnb is a room-sharing program. Basically, the way it works is people who have extra rooms in their apartment, condo, or home list that room on Airbnb for travelers to rent. Sometimes they'll rent out the whole house. You, as the traveler, are typically given full access to the kitchen, bathrooms, laundry, and whatever else the house has to offer, and it's significantly cheaper than staying at a hotel. HomeAway is a vacation rental marketplace with more than 1 million vacation rentals in 190 countries. The company offers the most comprehensive selection of rentals for families and groups to find cabins, condos, castles, villas, barns, and farmhouses. An old saying is that travelers stay at hotels, but vacationers stay at resorts. Sometimes a resort is a vacation in and of itself. Upscale large hotels may have restaurant, room service, and a pool, but that's about it. A resort, on the other hand, typically has a large pool, multiple bars and restaurants, gift shops, and activities abound over the grounds. Next, we have tips for saving money on hotels. If you have a flexible schedule, consider staying at a hotel during the off-season. Traveling during the off-season costs less and allows you to avoid crowds, making sightseeing much easier and more enjoyable. Even staying in a hotel midweek instead of during the weekend can save you money. You can sometimes save money by bundling travel essentials. At websites like Expedia, Travelocity, and Kayak, you can get great deals on airfare, hotels, and rental cars in a package, maybe saving hundreds of dollars. Hotel chains tend to have a free rewards program too. You can accumulate points by booking hotel rooms or shopping with a hotel's partner companies. Once you accrue points, you can earn a free hotel stay. And don't forget about complimentary breakfasts that can save the cost of your morning meal and coffee. Free shuttle services or the ability to walk to nearby destinations reduces your reliance on taxis and public transportation. Some hotels may offer free snacks, complimentary drinks, discounts at the hotel's spa or restaurants. There are a number of membership cards that save you money too, and you may already be entitled to a number of discounts. Students, alumni, teachers, emergency workers, AAA members, AARP members, military personnel, and government employees can all receive discounts when they shop, dine, or stay at certain hotels. Call hotels and check out their websites to learn more about membership and organizational discounts. You can also get discounts if you have a membership at wholesale clubs like BJ's and Costco. I want to shift gears for a moment while we're on the subject of lodging and talk about timeshares. A common expense we come across are timeshares. A timeshare is a property with a particular form of ownership or use of rights. These properties are typically resort condos where multiple parties hold rights to the property, and each shareholder is allotted a period of time, typically 1 week at the same time every year. Units may be partial ownership, leases, or right-to-use basis, and the sharer holds no claim to ownership of the property. So, typically, what does a timeshare cost? Your average timeshare costs about $10,000 to purchase, plus or minus, depending upon the location and the time of the year that you buy. Now, of course, you can finance it like a loan, which adds interest to it. A timeshare then turns into a 10-year loan with prices sometimes as high as $200 a month. And not only that, but you have annual fees as well. Sometimes monthly maintenance fees and HOA fees are upwards of $50 a month. Getting rid of a timeshare can be difficult and costly. Reselling is not always worth it because many people do not get anywhere near what they paid for it. Donating a timeshare is an interesting alternative. Some organizations offer to take your name off the title, off the timeshare, and sell it and then use the money to fund various charities. And if all else fails, create a PowerPoint presentation, cook a big meal, and then force your friends to sit through it as you try to sell them ownership. Can you imagine? But on a more serious note, you can transfer ownership to a friend or loved one, and they assume the fees and the payments. Clearly, you make nothing on the deal, but it might get you out of a bad situation. Now let's take some time to talk about where you're going to spend your vacation. Instead of planning another beach getaway, heed your adventurous side. North America's snow-capped peaks, jagged cliffs, towering volcanoes, and forests can call your name. And there's no better time than the present to grab your hiking boots and hit the trail. The top 10 places to hike are Hawaii, the Big Island. Plummeting waterfalls, fuming volcanoes, forests. Strap on your boots and set out for Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The Adirondacks in New York. With 2,000 miles of trails in the region and 46 peaks, hikers can experience new views every time. While nature lovers can rough it in the woods if they want, the area also has luxurious cabins and lodges. Next is Sedona, Arizona. Hiking in Sedona is like walking on Mars. You'll experience trails through red rock canyons and move past mystical vortexes. What about Glacier National Park in Montana? It offers 700 miles of hiking. Don't be surprised if you see mountain goats, elk, or even grizzly bears while taking in the scenery of this pristine mountain and freshwater streams. This park is full of wildlife. Jackson Hole in Wyoming has hiking trails that are sure to impress. This laid-back destination has routes for a variety of skill levels, and the scenery is one you won't get tired of photographing. What about Kauai, Hawaii? Outdoor enthusiasts will love hiking along Kauai's scenic cliffsides and testing their stamina on the 11-mile Kalalu Trail. Just be sure to pack sturdy boots. The trails can be challenging. Banff in Alberta, Canada is renowned for its many hiking areas. Striking vistas of the Rocky Mountains, and it has more than 80 trails. You might catch a glimpse of the Hoodoo rock formations along the Tunnel Mountain Trail. At Yellowstone National Park, there's nearly 3,500 square miles of wilderness atop a volcanic hotspot. Mostly in Wyoming, the park spreads into parts of Montana and Idaho too. Yellowstone features dramatic canyons, alpine rivers, lush forests, hot springs, and gushing geysers, including its most famous, Old Faithful. It's also home to hundreds of animal species, including bears, wolves, bison, elk, and antelopes. A hiking trip to the Grand Canyon is one you will never forget. You'll find more popular routes like the Bright Angel Trail and the Rim Trail tracing the canyon's south rim. If you're looking to avoid the crowds, try the paths along the north rim. Most travelers flock to the Yosemite National Park's Valley area, where some of the most popular trails can be found. But you'll find more tranquility in the backcountry. Just make sure you bring a map. Okay, now that we've talked about destinations, it's time to talk turkey. Let's talk about food. We have some tips for cheap eats when you travel. First, plan ahead. If you're going to Maine, you're probably going to want lobster. So start looking up restaurants now. Check menus and prices online. Look for Groupons or discounts ahead of time so you're prepared when you get there. Next, take advantage of your hotel. Kitchens and continental breakfasts can save you money. Also ask locals where the best places are to eat with affordable prices. Many restaurants have reward programs, so if you're looking to grab an easy meal at a chain restaurant, go with one that has a reward program. Now let's talk money and entertainment. Why are you traveling? Are you looking for relaxation, romance, family fun, or sightseeing? When you decide what you want out of the trip, you can plan your entertainment around it. Research your destination to find out what it has to offer and find out what you can do for free. Hotel pools, gyms, and recreation rooms are all free. The beach is free. Most large national parks are pretty much free other than entrance fees. So check it out. See what you can do that won't cost you anything at all. You're probably familiar with the idea of staycation, but in case you're not, a staycation is a budget-savvy, stay-local version of the old-fashioned vacation, and it's become so popular that the word has been added to the dictionary. Many travelers are embracing the concept of vacationing near their home and taking advantage of free or inexpensive area activities. Scheduling is critical to a successful vacation near home. It's the best way to ensure you'll spend your time off on fun and not routine activities or chores. You need to set a solid start and end date and brainstorm and schedule activities you'd like to try before your staycation begins. This can be the perfect opportunity to visit local museums, the aquarium, or water parks. Make a couple of day trips. Make a list of places you'd like to visit within 50 miles of home and plan one-day trips for your top picks. You can check out antique shops in a tiny town, take a hike at a nearby nature preserve, picnic on the banks of a local lake, or check out hot spots in the next town. You'll be enjoying the change of scenery without paying for a hotel. Or stay at a local hotel. If you're craving a break from the routines of home, research local lodging specials. It can help you achieve that away-from-home feeling without spending a fortune. Money may be tight, but remember, we all need a vacation to relax and recharge. So whatever your budget, there are endless resources for enjoying yourself and seeing new sights. Thank you so much for joining this webinar, Smart Vacationing That Doesn't Break the Bank.